it's Dr. Toya here, and welcome to the By Default Highlight Reel, where we highlight our business owners by bringing you videos and interviews so that they can tell their stories in their own words. Please like and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more episodes. I hope you enjoy. Hello everyone, it's Dr. Toya here, and I am joined by Kam Wallace, the founder and CEO of Liv Elle. Welcome, Kam.
Thank you. Hello, Dr. Toya.
Hi, I'm so happy to have a fellow Bison with me. Finally, all these other people coming. I know. And so much shade and talking about who's number one. Tell them who's number one.
We know the real. It's the real HU, right?
That's
Howard
right.
University, our illustrious Howard. It's such a great experience and so great connecting with fellow Bison. You know, since being in business, I've connected with so many wonderful, proud Howard alumni, and you know, it extends to just HBCU alumni, and it's been such a joy.
Yes, I am so excited. So before we get into too much Howard talk, because I can get carried away there, tell our viewers a little bit more about you apart from the business.
Yeah, so again, my name is Kam Wallace. I'm the owner of Liv Elle. It's a licensed and custom apparel brand that celebrates all things Black joy, Black excellence, and HBCUs. And so I built my brand just as a lover of creativity. When my daughters were younger, I would create, custom shirts for them. And it's somehow, the brand extended from children's custom apparel to celebrating Black families, and more specifically, the Black community and the HBCU community through custom sweatshirts, apparel that speaks to who you are, that expresses our richness and celebrates our pride and folks, and items that folks are proud to wear and represent fully through apparel. And so that's also one of our missions, is to do just that, is to provide all joy through apparel.
Yeah, so there's a lot that you said that I want to get into. So first of all, you have two daughters.
I do. And so that's what the shop is named after, is after my daughters, Olivia and Noelle. They're 3 and 5, and I call them my little interns. Until I could get some full-time help. But, they help me around the house, and, obviously with the brand being named after them, it's just a constant reminder of who I'm doing it for. So they're my daily inspiration for me to continue building something bigger and creating that legacy. And especially as, we spoke about Howard and how most of my, apparel and products are Howard focused, it is about also passing on that legacy of, hopefully when they get of age, that they will consider Howard, as a school of their choice. I know for my daughters, their first letters were HU,
Right.
So that was part of their ABC curriculum.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty much embedded within them now. And so I'm just hopeful that, whatever choice that they make, that I will have some influence, whether it comes from being a graduate of Howard University and a proud alumna, to even, just as an entrepreneur, and them seeing, me work the business and involving them and seeing the growth of the business. I'm hoping that could just have some sort of positive influence in whatever direction that they decide to take.
It can't not have a positive influence, because they're seeing you doing what you do and killing it. So they are very, very lucky to have a momtrepreneur, as they say.
Right. Yes. It is not the easiest, but I definitely think it builds character for anyone who's a mom, as you yourself, and also balancing, work and entrepreneurship. It takes a certain level of grit, balance, but it's taught me so much, in these few years that I've been within this full-time space.
Gotcha. So how long have you been doing the business?
Yeah, so I started the shop in 2018. Again, that was me just kind of dabbling as a hobby. I loved it. So I started a Etsy shop literally 2 weeks before I was set to go back to my full-time marketing job in 2018 after I had my second daughter. So, I was on maternity leave. It's like, I just wanted something else, just wanted something to put my time and energy into. And of course, I would always make things, for my daughters and post them. And just, from the response from family, friends, and even on social media when I posted, it's like, I think it's time to kind of monetize my creativity and
Yeah.
some of the, these handmade items. And so, yeah, I took that leap by creating an Etsy shop, had no idea, what to do, but that was just the first step, was to create that and put some products there. And so kept that up for about 2 years, just as like, again, it was just something side. So I didn't put too much energy and effort into it. And then, yeah, so fast forward, just receiving so many positive reviews from having that shop open, and just the support from the overall community, and sending out text messages and support via that way, that word of mouth support was so key to me eventually taking the business full time. And so that happened in 2020. So we were in the pandemic,
Right.
and I know that the pandemic impacted so many people, and on a negative note, but I think some of the positivity seen was the support of Black-owned businesses. And one of my businesses was one of the ones that, kind of benefited from this. It truly validated that what I'm doing is appreciated, in the community. And, so grateful that I was able to take it full time. And now, I've been operating, as a full-time business and brand since 2020. And it's been so much growth and learning along the way as well.
Oh, you make it look easy. I didn't realize that you had a background in marketing. I can tell. Yeah.
Yeah, marketing. So and that's actually what I went to school for. And so I'm also blessed to have been within, the marketing field, since I graduated college.
Right.
Yeah, so I worked in a media company and event planning and just digital marketing. And so, clearly all of the experiences from that, I was able to translate and transfer over to my business. Yeah, I'm so appreciative. And I think too, that may have helped the transition as opposed to me going directly into entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
I know for me, and just to be honest, I never saw myself as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought that was within my capabilities,
Yeah.
or just something I never thought of. I don't know, growing up, I saw myself as, a powerful advertising exec, walking into like a New York office with a bomb red suit on. That was like,
that's a very specific dream.
That was actually going to be my step. I got a lot of offers after Howard for New York agencies and whatnot, but I realized that, we take different paths. And I'm so pleased at the path that I'm currently on, and where I will say where I've ended up. I can't say that because it's continuing to evolve, and who knows what's going on within the next year, 2 to 5. But I can say for now that I am certainly pleased with the way things are going.
Yes, so am I. As you know, I'm a big fan. Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much. You look beautiful in your Black Joy sweatshirt. I just love it. And, your support means so much. And I'm sure that, all the other businesses that, you work with can attest to the same thing, that your platform and your directory is so necessary. And, when I think about like starting out as well as a Black-owned businesses, like the lack of resources and the lack of marketing and, just the overall grand scheme of things, like to have a platform that's totally dedicated to supporting, and the fact that you put your own dollars into supporting so many brands, I know.
I don't know if people
I was looking at
I'm getting stuff.
I was like, wow. Imagine.
Yes, so everyone, these are my own dollars. Yes.
Yes, it's an investment, but it's so needed.
Yes, definitely. So, I know the quality and the beauty of your stuff, but tell me a little bit more about some of the collections and, because I want to get into the different collections, the Black Joy, the Black and Scarlet. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, as the business has evolved, I've also kind of have a few different audiences that I speak to. And it's funny because each of the audiences and the products that I put out, it speaks to who I am, overall. So, obviously Black Joy is something that I try to evoke in my life and try to pass on to others as well. That's like one of my mantras, is finding the beauty in every day. And so Black Joy is about celebrating all that is to be joyful, to have pride within ourselves. So I do have a Black Joy collection that has, empowering messages such as Black joy or ambitiously, unique. Or I'd had so many products also for young kids as well, because my daughter, Olivia, she used to help me make some of the designs for herself. So we put up some designs for her. I'll have to come back out with some get her collaboration, another collection with her, because she's a little artsy one too. So it's so sweet. And then I am like a licensed Howard vendor. So quite a few, Howard University apparel that you likely won't find in the bookstore. And I think that's what also attracts people to my business. A lot of pieces are also custom. And so they're handmade, whether it's, a custom grad year, represent what year you graduated, or if you're recently accepted into Howard. It's just a great way to represent that, and perfect for photo shoots and gift giving. That's what I found, that so many folks are drawn, for that reason as well. And then Black and Scholars. So Black and Scholared is from my experience of working with the HBCU community and connecting with the community. I wanted to find a space that was a space to celebrate just Black grads in general, HBCU, or whether you attended a PWI and you were proudly representing, on the campus of a PWI. And so Black and Scholared was formed to do just that. And I'm in the process of just continuing that sub-brand and building that up. That has a separate Instagram page as well. And, we're working on the website because, beyond the apparel, I want to make sure that I'm able to be of value and give back to the space in, a small way, whether it's providing resources, eventually scholarships and internship opportunities. I'm in the lab just working on that and hoping to launch that. And, would love to support and connect with other like-minded companies as well who are looking to reach the Black grad and Black alumni audience.
Wow, that's amazing. I did not know that.
Yeah,
talk more about that.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
I've been pulling my hair out for it because I'm like, I'm also kind of like a creative, and I don't know, my mind has so many different ideas. And I think that's also just a note about entrepreneurship, is that we have so many ideas, but it's the execution that can sometimes get in the way. That's something that I'm working on. And, for those that are skilled in that area, more power to you. Pass that on to me. But I'm also an overthinker, and I want things to be perfect when so just kind of getting out of that mindset.
The mindset stuff is huge on this journey, man. Oh my gosh.
Right. Oh my goodness.
Something you mentioned I want to talk about. You said you were licensed Howard vendor, and for those who don't know, the bookstore is the Howard bookstore. That's where we get, you would usually get alumni apparel and obviously books. But so the stuff that I had before, it was from the bookstore. I definitely wanted to get it directly from Howard. But what does it mean exactly to be licensed?
So it means that for every licensed apparel and merch, you basically, it gives you the rights to use their name and likeness, and a portion of every sale goes back to the university. It's a process that's, I think, is necessary because obviously on the marketplace, we have so many folks that are, selling unlicensed merchandise or slapping, not even just Howard's logo, any logo that's not yours, whether it's Nike, whether it's, Instagram logo, and they're not getting their proper pay for it or acknowledgement, for it. So that was really important to me once I realized that, I did want to take this further into the HBCU apparel marketplace, to do it the right way. And so, I went through that process. It was initially very scary for me because I'm like, you're not going to accept me. I'm just like a little small home-based business. But, I got all my ducks in a row, submitted it, and was pleased that I was able to get approved to become, basically a Howard, University vendor to sell licensed merchandise. And so I am currently expanding my licenses with other HBCUs, the first one being Hampton University. And I know that's going to be so controversial because it's already approved and I'm already an approved vendor. But I realized that one, it's all HU Love, okay?
It is.
HU Love.
It is.
It's all towards that greater, the greater goal, supporting Black colleges in general. Okay, that being said, I have I have to put that out so my bison won't just like
Right.
disown me.
But
But
yeah.
I connected with a lot of Hampton alumni as well. And when making the decision of which schools I want to add it, and I have a few more that are currently being processed now, I went directly to my community and asked, which schools do you want to see more Liv Elle merch from? Hampton was certainly one of the ones. So excited to introduce more merch, for Hampton and for the other HBCUs that I have coming up as well, just to make it a full catalog and to, extend the reach as well. I'm from Howard, but, I have a lot of Camden friends or North Carolina A&T friends or Spelman, and whether I'm looking for gifts or my goddaughters or godsons may go somewhere else, it's perfect opportunity for the bison to continue to support a bison owned business by purchasing another college.
Definitely. And I just want to say it really is all HBCU love. We have other people on the directory from Hampton, so it's fine. It's fine. It's all. I am a big supporter of HBCUs in general. So, and I hope my son is going to choose. I told my husband, we're not paying for anything but an HBCU. So you better get a scholarship if you want to go somewhere else.
Oh, that's smart. That's a good one. That's tough love.
Hey, that's what I said.
He's like, you're on your own.
Get some loans. And I hope if I, train you up in financial literacy, you're not going to get those loans. You're going to go where the money is. So,
There you go.
But enough about that. But yeah, so I really love that, you took that step to get licensed. And I think that's important. I think it's important for people to know, which is why I want you to explain it so that they don't just go and get any old thing that, has a Howard logo or whatever else. Because that is important. It's great that something goes back to Howard.
Yep.
Because we need that support. HBCUs in general need our support.
Yep. I mean, and even when you think about like the current marketplace, and especially with the t-shirt industry, there are so many companies that are really just kind of faking it, and I say that their name may be Melanin, Joy or something like that. Right. But if you really dig into their websites, like they're definitely operating from China. It's also just protecting our community, protecting essentially what's ours, and just kind of make sure that there is some authenticity towards what you purchase and what you buy. And so that's why I definitely encourage people to do their research, because, obviously when we get into like circulating the Black dollar, and it makes a difference. The dollar, as it currently stands, doesn't go very far within the African-American community. Unfortunately, when you compare it to other communities, whether that's obviously Caucasian, but even within the Asian community, the Jewish community. And so I think it's important for us to like get on the same level or higher.
Oh, higher. How about that?
The way that our buying power currently is, and so many companies and advertisers look towards the African-American community as, the target audience when, rolling out their plans. But the fact that we can't keep the dollar and support within our community it's a little sad, but I think that there is being a resurgence. Obviously I mentioned during the pandemic, during the surge. And so we're just hopeful that that wave just continues and it's not just a trendy thing, but a lasting action.
Yeah. And, that hits home for me as well, because, I had this idea a while ago. And when I was doing my research then, there were no directories really. There was Shop Black, which is, they had, I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. They have like a newsletter situation, not really like a searchable directory. And that was really it that I could find. And then when I was like, okay, let's do this. And I searched, I'm like, they're all these directories, which I think is phenomenal. But then you have to wonder, is it really just a trend? Is it going to last? And then, something else you mentioned, I think is really important as well. Other communities do this and it's never questioned, but we get a lot of questions. Well, why isn't it for everybody? And, I get that a lot with what I'm doing, is for all people. I'm like, well, no, it's not about all people. It's about us, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And it is about us and empowerment and love and excellence and everything you said. And it's not really about exclusion, because
Yeah.
exclusion takes away the focus, right? It's like, I'm excluding you, but no, I'm just making something for us.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Yep.
an important difference.
Yep. And I think it takes, for the ones that are questioning you, it's not for you, but it also takes a special person to want to support, if they are, non-African American.
Yeah.
And so those are ones that are part of allyship. I know that was like the number one word of 2021. But those, you stepping up in that regard to support, regardless if you're not within the target demographic.
Yeah, so I definitely appreciate the support. And I think some of it too, it doesn't always come from a negative place. It comes from, well, hey, I want to support, but you're not really targeting me. And my answer is the same. You can definitely support and we thank you for it, but it's still not for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
It's okay. But going back to you, because this is why we're here. So I want to get a little bit more behind the business. You talked a little bit about it, but I want to know, what was like one of the biggest challenges you have faced when you started your business?
I would say mentorship. So that's something that I never truly had. I think mainly too, because although I was, I knew kind of like the business and marketing side of how I wanted to run, or the creative, the prettiness, the pretty graphics. I think more so knowing about like the apparel industry in general. So it just took a lot of me learning and researching on my own. I think that if I had a mentor, I could be a bit further, or I may have prevented a number of mistakes.
Yeah.
Or save some money, wasted money from just simply not knowing. And so it's funny because I'm going through interview process for bringing on an intern myself, because I just felt like one this time just kind of get a little help around, with business. But I realized that, and why I want to go the intern route, I realized that it's nice to connect with someone who has that knowledge, especially in a space where we are, where there's so many coaches and everyone's like, join my 8-week coaching program or learn this, sign up for this webinar for $50,000 and I'll teach you all the secrets. Sometimes we need free information with just like a little bit of hand holding. And so that's something that I wanted to offer. And then, so, I went directly, it's funny because I went directly to my old career counselor in the School of Communications.
Nice.
And sent her email, because I just remember how helpful she was to me, when I was in school, and she got me some major internships. I'm so blessed to have so many great opportunities at Howard. So let me go back to her, because I want to reach back, kind of reach back and do the same, in that interview process now. But I think for sure, one of the early on challenges was lack of mentorship. And so that's something even that I'm seeking to give, but I'm also still seeking myself as I look to scale. I realize the importance of connecting with folks that are a little further than you to see, how they did it. What tips they can lend you, how can they inspire you. That's one of the main challenges. So many others, but I think that's one that's sticking out to me currently. We can go down the whole list.
I was about to say, it's a lot. And you spoke a word about the wasted money, man. Oof. Just like, sometimes I wish somebody had told me not to do that.
I know, like, had I known.
So I love everything you just said, because you are right. There are a lot of courses and 8 weeks, and you can grow, you can make this money, you can grow your following, you can do this, and it's just like, it's overwhelming.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. The information that you receive, and I'm only mainly referencing social media, because I'm kind of lived in and out, also trying to outsource that. But, just scrolling through, Instagram, and so many ads and this and that, and temptation. The temptation is to spend, like, I want to get this course, like, oh, I do need some extra followers. I should take this course and see what I'm doing wrong, or now the reels, I'm trying to learn the reels. Like, do I need to pay someone to learn how to do the reels? Like,
it's a lot. But so I kudos to you to reaching back to Howard. That's what it's all about, getting that pipeline going. So that's That's amazing. And so are your free interns in your house about to lose their job?
So it's funny because according to my accountant, like I can't put them on payroll until I think they're 7. So I have a few more years. My oldest is 5, so I'm counting down right now before I can actually pay her. But no, they'll still help out here and there, but they're not very helpful.
Right.
It's cute, but it's sweet. It's all learning.
Yeah. She's like, they're no help. Right. So, on the flip side, what has been your biggest win to date?
I think overall, when I think about just starting a home-based business with no lack of resources and without, proper knowledge of the field, for me to just grow and scale the business to a profitable 6-figure business, and I think that in itself is a big win for me, because I'm able to, care for my kids. I was able to, have this be my full-time income while, supporting my family. And so I think for sure that's the biggest win that I could say just overall, in terms of just like other, wins or just partnerships that I've had as well. I've connected with quite a few brands that were, eager to partner and share that same, like-mindedness mission. So that was really cool. I just kind of thought back on all the partnerships that I had over 2021. I think it was like maybe 25 to 30, I can recall. And, there's also a lot more, coming forward too. And so just having folks kind of recognize the brand. And I feel like I'm in a space where I can call it a Liv Elle brand, like it is a brand, because folks kind of recognize my style. I get messages all the time like, Kim, is this you? Or I saw this here. So they're like tagging me if they see some of my items somewhere. I'm blessed to have had celebrities rock my gear. So from the Real Housewives of Potomac, Candace wore it. It was actually on Bravo. I was randomly looking at Married to Medicine. And in one of the scenes, I saw some folks wearing, I also came out with a Juneteenth collection. And so I'm like, wait, is that my shirt? I like rewound it, and yes, sure enough, was there. So I've been featured on Bravo. And then more recently, Lance Gross, also a Howard alumni, plenty of shows, he wore one of my sweatshirts. So it's pretty cool for folks to just kind of support, and that just helps to further, expand my reach and kind of get my brand name out there.
Yeah, those are some big wins. And you see how she just dropped that 6-figure. Y'all heard that, right? Yes, that is amazing. Congratulations on all of that.
Thank you so much. I'm learning to really appreciate, some of those wins. And even with in terms of the income, sometimes you say, oh, now everyone's like, oh, and they're in the 7-figure, businesses and millionaires. Like, well, we have to start somewhere, so. Just trying to just be aware of my wins and appreciating them and living in my current space and being grateful for where I currently am, hopeful for all the future wins that are going to come.
Yes, that is very important, because it is very easy to just what's the next thing? What's the next thing? And you're not really appreciating where you are, because it's easy to miss. But yes, those are some amazing wins. So congratulations.
Yeah.
I know you talked about, all the information out there and mentorship and things like that. Give us some free knowledge. What would be one thing you wish people knew about having a small business?
Well, for one, it's not as glamorized as is depicted on social media.
Yeah.
And I know I'm referencing social media a lot. But that's because where people are, that's where the influence is now. As it's shown, it seems as if, oh, I can just, start this website, go into business, find a product, sell it. But it's not that easy. I think what's not shown are some of the hard days where, sales may not be coming in, or you may be frustrated with an idea, or you may have a brain block. That sounds a creative block is real. And so I think that's why it's so important to know your why. And for me, it's rooted in, what my shop is all about, Liv Elle shop for my daughters. And so I have no choice but to constantly think of them. Liv Elle. Just knowing your why, I think is truly, it may be like the only thing that can pull you out of the funk, sometimes, and keep that fire lit, beneath you. I will say though, on the positive, with social media and, this spark of entrepreneur here, these business here, like, so people sell everything. Yeah. But it has encouraged a wave of entrepreneurship or building a Black-owned business. And so even when we go back to our earlier conversation about, circulating the African-American dollar, that's all that's helping and pushing towards that ultimate goal. And so I would just say, just be cognizant of, the information that you're receiving on, social media, that not everything is just a quick overnight success story. There may be some cases where that may have happened for someone. If so, kudos, and I'm happy for you. Like, give me some of that luck and that juju. But for others, it takes true work and dedication and hours and time and resources and continue learning. And so I do encourage it if it's a passion of yours as well, in an area that you see where you are fulfilling, a need for the marketplace.
Yeah, that's some great advice. You heard it, girl. Yep. So I ask everyone, what does it mean to you to be a Black business owner?
It means the world. It means, one, that I'm providing a product that's rooted in authenticity. Yeah. That's really important for me, to put out something that, I have experience, that it's me, like I'm my target market. Also, so anything that I wear and support, I'm going to put out to others. And so, and then when we spoke about earlier about, other businesses or some of the fakes and the phonies. So knowing that, you're getting a product that's made for you by someone that looks like you, and that you're supporting, overall your community, at the end of the day, I think it makes people feel good too, to know that they are contributing to something greater. I know it does for me, even on a personal level, like when I go out and seek, a Black-owned business, which I've pretty much transitioned majority of my purchases to. Yeah. And that part even took effort. Kudos to those that are continuing on that, because I know sometimes it may not be the easiest, and not even in terms of the support of the product or the quality of products from a Black-owned business, because I think that we put our effort into it the most, because we know that it is challenging, and we know that we have to put our best foot forward, because we are pretty much coming in from a disadvantage, right? No, it takes effort, because not even seeking, the business itself, but knowing like the industry, like even toilet tissue, like, okay, I want to buy some Black-owned toilet tissue. Right. It takes effort to go and look, searching Black-owned toilet paper, when you could easily go to a big box store. Right. So in that regard, kudos to those that really make that effort to support in all areas.
Yes. And there are definitely people that do that. I've spoken to a couple of them, doing the business. Like you said, you meet a lot of people and you make a lot of connections, and it has been wonderful. And there are definitely some people that are like, every single thing, I'm impressed. Because you're right. I'm a big Amazon person, as terrible as Jeff Bezos is. Sorry if you're watching, Jeff. I take a lot of stands about things. Yeah. I can't take a stand. I can't, like, in this current state in my life.
Something, it has to be a bit more about the ease and what's going to make your life easier.
Right. So it's definitely, what you said was correct. It does take a lot of effort. And that's, it's so funny when I speak to people. I love doing these interviews, and I know that I've chosen the right businesses for my mission, because when I hear you guys unprovoked tell me why I'm making my business, it's just like, see, you yes. Because you said it,
you appreciate when you have something that's made for you by somebody that looks like you. That's it. And also talked about how hard it is to find these products. That's kind of what it is.
Yep.
And I guess I will not be selling Black-owned toilet tissue. I would not have that on my directory. It's a very specific vision of things, but and that's what the other directories are for, and that's why we need all of us, all of the directories that are out there, because everybody's doing something a little bit different. But so I love everything you just said. It's definitely.
Thank you. We see each other. You see me.
So, before we wrap up, I have to ask, this is a very important question. Where did you get this earring jacket combination? It is amazing. Because I've been looking, I was like, wait a minute, the earrings match?
It's funny. I guess it just all goes together. Well, one, the Black and Scholar is from Liv Elle.
Right.
The jacket is from probably 6 to 8 years ago from Forever 21. So
nice. I love it. I love it.
Super old, not Black owned, but
hey,
I like their Christian-based company, so that's cool.
Yes.
And the earrings are from a Black owned business called And Made.
Nice.
Yeah, I came across her on Instagram, just scrolling. I was like, oh, those are really cute. So bought some during Black Friday and been pleased so far. So I'm so into, I think the most that I purchased of Black owned businesses have been jewelry.
Yeah.
I'm into earrings and just kind of accessories. And so I have so much that I've just collected from hand makers too. And it's also important for me to connect with hand makers because I'm a hand maker myself. Right. So I start out, majority of my products are handmade. I am looking to kind of step away from most production just as I scale and realize where I enjoy my time and focus. That's more so on the business and the operations and marketing behind the company. But I do appreciate, folks that put so much time and love and effort into creating, their items. And I feel like there's always an extra sense of love when something is handmade. So that's cool for me.
No, that's great. And, I have to get the name of that place because I literally thought it was matching, but it goes
the colors are a little, they're similar. Yeah. So the colors are playing, the patterns are a little different, but the colors are playing off of one another. Yeah.
Nice. And I'm not hating on Forever 21. I used to live in there. So
no, I can't go there now. I go there now. I'm like, what is this?
Yes.
I probably can't even get anything over my leg. This is, and I'm a tall woman. So I cannot be walking down the street and I have 2 kids and just, stuff not covering my behind, I'm trying to say young and hip, but not to that level.
Not too much. I recently went in there and I was just like, nah.
You gotta know. They said Forever 21.
Right.
And being the 30 plus.
No, you really can't. I think we've
Forever 41
aged out. So, you kind of mentioned scaling and things like that. If you can share, I don't want you to give away all your secrets. What is next for Liv Elle? What can we expect?
Yeah, so I'm just figuring out now where Liv Elle is. I mentioned wanting to scale Black and Scholared. So I think I'm at a point now where I'm kind of doing various sub-brands within Liv Elle. And so one of them is Black and Scholar. So I'm going to certainly focus on that collegiate apparel market. And then I have some kids, stuff that I have in mind, quite a few really big partnerships this year that's in the work, and I'm super excited for it. That will, I think, certainly catapult the brand. I have so many ideas, I think, but one thing I did connect with someone recently, and they mentioned focus on one thing at a time. And so, right now I'm determining, where I want to spend my time currently. And what I'm enjoying doing at this very moment. And it's okay to table, another design, or another, option or opportunity. Yeah. So with that kids venture, I am going to table that for, a few years, but I think there's so many possibilities. I'm so excited, especially since I'm in this space and I'm realizing that, like I said, entrepreneurship was initially scary for me, but right now I feel like there's so many possibilities and it's exciting. It's exciting to know that I can, it just sounds so cliche, but I can determine my future.
It's okay. There are reasons that they're cliches.
I can really, like, every action and step that I'm taking today is determining my future and building to what is going to come and what's going to be greater. So I think that's so cool that I can twist and play it around and really make it to what I want it to be and what I want to see for myself and for my family in the future. And I think that's so cool. So I'm excited. I'm excited for 2022, although I can't believe we're almost currently in this, like where January gone came and went. But I know that this year is going to end so quickly. And so I'm just about, and I hope others do the same, just make every use of every moment of every day, whatever goal that you have in mind to work, do just a little something to better that goal and to work towards that goal each day. And I think that, you know, at the end of the year or what your goal time frame, that you'll find yourself closer towards it. So rooting for everyone.
That was some inspiration. Thank you.
Yeah.
So tell our viewers where they can find you and Liv Elle shop.
Yeah, so my website, would love for you all to come by the website, support by purchasing. You can leave an email address, you know, get some coupons, but that's at livandelle.com. So LIVANDELLE.com. On social media, I'm at Liv Elle shop. And Black and Scholared is Black and Scholared. And yeah, feel free to connect on my page. I like to just kind of show a bit about myself, about my process. You'll learn a little bit about me. You'll see the wonderful community of Liv Elle fam that support us by purchasing, you know, our items and tagging us in their photos and spreading the good word about what it is that we do in the pretty cool custom apparel that we make. So thank you so much.
Oh, yes. And the last place you can find them is on bydefault.com. Yes. Liv Elle is one of the members of our By Default Business Tribe, and we are very, very, very happy to have you.
Thank you. I'm so pleased and so proud to be on the platform. When you initially, you know, launched it and I took a look, I was like, wow, this is legit. Like, this is a legit and so easy to use, and just the overall interface is like, it's really top notch. I think, and you know, not in comparison, but you know, I think you just created something that was, you mentioned it reflected you. You know, you wanted the brands that you work with, and even I can tell that the aesthetic as well probably reflects who you are. Is very nice and clean and easy to use as well. So thank you so much for the opportunity. It's a pleasure to be a part of it.
You're welcome. And I did not pay her to say that, guys.
No, not at all. I just had to give that because that's something that I truly enjoy.
Yeah.
And I know the amount of time and effort that it also takes to build a website.
Yeah.
So and build a brand and build, you know, all those little small pieces that come together, fit so nicely together.
Yeah.
But all those little pieces take time and energy and effort. And I think you've done a fabulous job.
Well, thank you so much. It really, really means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure.
All right, guys, that is it for now. Kam, it was a pleasure having you. Yes. And
Thank you.
we will see you next time on the By Default Highlight Reel. Bye.